You know, Butler was a second-best player last year, averaging 20.6 rebounds as a shooting guard. I think if they could play together like all the great 1-2 punches, they'll be very dangerous.
Gasol might be the number one option. Who knows?
Excellent point. We get it down to Kevin Harlan as tip-off approaches.
Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Well, it was the Chicago Bulls winning their last game against Toronto. That was a great come-from-behind win, too. They got down but kept their heads up and fought back to win it.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I mean, the defense from the start was on its heels practically the entire game.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go?
And it's Chicago to start out. Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Paul George is out there with LaVoy Allen. Then it's Ellis. Then it's George Hill. And it's Hill in at the center. Gasol dishes to Dunley. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Boy, that was a violent throw down there.
You're telling me.
I mean, it's almost like he doesn't like the rim.
So it's the Pacers now. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
And in that game, they did damage in a variety of ways. They were more or less unstoppable offensively.
Showed off all of their weapons and resources at that end of the floor. Really just put on a marvelous show.
To the middle. Here's George. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist.
Good way to start the game there. I mean, that's a nice inside bucket.
You're right, Clark. That's exactly what you would want, to establish that presence down low early in the game.
Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game. And guys, you don't think this fella can do some major damage if he gets an opening to the rim.
GA, they just learned that lesson the hard way. They better put a little bit more effort into their D the next time down.
Big time play at the basket right there, fellas.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam. And so it's Indiana with it. The Bulls knocking down the 3. Takes the 3. No good. So the Bulls will take it the other way. They went to Indiana for their last meeting with the Pacers and came out with a win.
A huge margin of victory for them when these two teams squared off last, and they got scoring from up and down their lineup.
Yeah, the reserves, the guys coming off the bench, Greg, made their presence felt. And, of course, with their big lead, they were able to give the bench a lot of run.
Here's Hill following the score by Derrick Rose. Now George, his second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
I tell you what, guys, it's going to be a tough day on this defense if he's got the A game rolling tonight.
Here's Gasol. Excellent D there from Allen.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Offensive rebound, the second effort, and it's George missing.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Well, their pass it to Gasol. Dunleavy for 3. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Gasol's got 3 assists in the game.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Now here is Hill. An 11-point game for him in the win against Atlanta.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
And a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
You know, he's not your typical NBA center in terms of height, guys, but he plays as big as any of them, thanks to his incredible bounceability.
Pacers trail by 4. Pick up by Hill. George against Butler. And George kicks to Allen. Sinks the three-pointer. Allen's got his second bucket of the night.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
Scooped up. Bairstow can't hit from in close.
I still can't believe that one didn't fall.
Ellis outside. He dishes it to Hill. Launches a three, and Indiana another. They're three.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
Tell you what, Monte Ellis is one of the best second-round draft picks of all time in the league, not just the last decade. I mean, this guy was a five-star recruit out of high school, committed to college, but changed his mind and entered the draft, where the Warriors stole him with the 40th pick in 2005.
The Bulls making a switch here. Gibson's checked in, unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. Off the screen. Ellis can't get it to go. Getting back to Monte Ellis. Had he gone to college for even 1 year, I think he would have probably been a top 10 pick. But you look at what he's brought to the table over his career. Points and assists, rebounds, steals, playmaking. His production has been astounding.
You know, he's one of those unsung players. He never gets voted to the All-Star game. It never gets spoken about as one of the top guards in this league. But you look at the body of work and you ask his competitors throughout this league, and they're going to tell you that guy's as tough as they get.
Indiana's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. And it's Hill penetrating. George, no good. Bulls have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
There's the screen. Pick up by Hill. Mahinmi dishes to Ellis. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Ellis.
And here's a look at the stats for Rose. Some impressive play from him over the last month. He's putting up about 16 points a game, 6 assists, and just over 2 steals. And he has been passing the ball like a virtuoso. That's what really stands out about these recent performances.
Hey, every train needs a conductor, man. He unifies his teammates, sets the tempo, and they make some sweet, sweet music.
Now Hill, after Jimmy Butler missed from long range. Allen kicks to Mahinmi. Dishes to Hill. The shot by George, wide open. And it's George again missing. For Chicago, they've gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the first quarter. Rose passes to Dunleavy. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got his 3rd assist on the night.
And the Pacers just missed out on the playoffs last year and would have to settle for 9th in the East. Hard for a team that has been so dominant in the East over recent seasons.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. And for the Pacers against the East, they actually played the rest of the conference. Greg, very well, ended with a 28-24 record, Clark, against the East.
The only team, Kevin, in the East with a winning record against the rest of the conference not to make the playoffs. Only went 10-19 against the playoff teams in the conference.
And really, the Bulls weathered a lot of injuries last season and still had a good showing in the East. Came away with the 3 seed when many thought they would sink down after missing so many games from key players.
Some changes for Chicago. Mirotic is checked in for Gasol. Heinrich comes in for Mike Dunleavy. And Brooks subbed in for Rose. Indiana also making some changes. Turner's checked in for Allen. Hill comes in for George. And it's C.J. Miles in for Monte Ellis. And so here is Indiana. It's a 3-point game. Hill dishes to Miles. It's back to Hill to the left side wing. Here's Mahinmi. It's stolen by Heinrich. And oh, here we go. Brooks got it. The fast break champ. Look at that jam. Beautiful.
Tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they? Have build up a lead, and here we go, folks. It's showtime.
That was a Kodak moment right there. The more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys on the ropes.
And so it's Indiana with it. After Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago. And it's Hill penetrating. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Hill's got 5 now.
He's hit the ground running here in the first, putting together a nice quarter offensively.
Brooks kicks to Mirotic. Gibson the screen. Back to Mirotic. The baseline J. They get it back. Gibson passes to Butler. Brooks outside. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And the Bulls lead by 6.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Hill, no good.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
And, you know, time will tell how big a factor that becomes in this game, guys. But if you're the coaching staff, it's certainly a point of emphasis. You know, Jimmy Butler is one of those guys who had to overcome major odds just to get to the NBA. Reportedly, his father abandoned the family when Jimmy was an infant. Mom kicked Jimmy out when he was 13. The obstacles and adversity go on, yet he's made it and made it big.
And here is Brooks. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Heinrich with it. back to Brooks. Over to the wing. Here's Miritich, and the Bulls another three.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
And the defense is just not closing out quick enough.
Here is Miles. Turned in an outstanding game against Atlanta. The 3 from Hill. Can't get it to go.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
And the Gasol brothers, both starters in the All-Star game last season. It's the first time that's happened in NBA history. Pau talked about the joy of sharing the NBA stage with his brother Mark.
It's like a dream come true. It's hard to really picture it. I'm just proud to be Mark's brother, and I'm proud of what he's become as a basketball player and as a man.
Well, their story is a bit like a fairy tale, the way 2 of them, sons of medical professionals in Spain, have become 2 of the best centers in the NBA at this age.
Yeah, and especially, Kevin, when you remember what a raw talent and how big and bulky Marc Gasol was when he was drafted by the Lakers, who traded him to Memphis for his brother.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for Chicago.
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range. So, even when they're down, he's still looking to do the spectacular. And he pulled it off.
Well, maybe this is the best time to do it.
I agree. I mean, now's when you need a spark, something electric to get your teammates fired up. And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
And, Greg, it's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
And Miles kicks to George. It falls for his 5th field goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8.
It is so hard to contain it. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
And it's Rose penetrating. Pulls up from the corner. That's short off the rim. Pacers trail by 7. George dishes to Miles. Ellis outside. Looking for Allen and gets it there. Chicago grabs the miss. They've led by as much as 10. Indiana didn't have a great record on the road last season. Only went, Clark, 15-26 on the year, and it cost them down the stretch.
It really did, Kevin. I mean, the Pacers had a bumpy year with all of the injuries, particularly with George being out for most of the year. His absence was most noted in those tough road games, I think.
Miles, that's good.
Superb playmaking from Monte Ellis. That dish was right on time.
And for the Pacers, perhaps the biggest loss of the season for them was on the road. Couldn't get it done in Memphis on the final day of the season to try and get into the postseason.
Chicago leading by 5. Rose kicks to Bairstow. The shot misses. Excellent D there from Hill.
Well, here's a little factoid about the Pacers on the road last season, guys. They were much better shooting free throws on the road. The difference between their road and home free throw percentage was the largest positive mark in the league. That's kind of strange.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
The drive by Brooks. Dunleavy for 3. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. Brooks has got his 3rd assist on the night.
They've given up a lot of 3-pointers here today.
And their defensive rotations have been non-existent.
Pass to Allen. Rejected by Gasol. Here's Dunleavy. He's guarded by Ellis. About 3 minutes played so far in this second quarter. And it's Miles missing.
They've done their part here to run down a lot of missed shots. A solid rebounding effort.
Yeah, energy has been the difference, and they're fighting for every loose ball and giving as good as they get on the inside.
And the foul called on Pau Gasol. That's his first foul.
Yeah, not afraid of the physical play, but he still needs to stay under control.
Yeah, he obviously was not under control right there. Not much doubt he was going to get whistled for the over-the-back call.
To the middle. It's stolen by Dunleavy. Brooks against Ellis. And it's Brooks that time on the assist by Rose. Rose has got his 5th assist in this one. Watching Mike Dunleavy Jr., he's simply the mark of consistency. You know he's in his mid-30s, but you know exactly what you're going to get out of him every season. I think Tom Thibodeau, last year's Chicago coach, really admired it and loved it.
It's so funny watching Mike Dunleavy Jr. play. I remember when his dad coached me when I was with Portland, and he was a little kid running around, and all of a sudden he's become this great NBA player. But you're right, though. He's made himself into a valuable asset in terms of the role he's been given for the Bulls.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over.
Talking about Dunleavy, boy, I tell you, he was playing at a high level already by his 2nd season in the league. Practically every statistic across the board matches up since then, and that's over a decade later.
Has an update from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Paul George. Their offense is most effective, Coach said, when he is most involved. And they're looking for total involvement from him for the rest of this game. Guys, they've got a decent hole to dig themselves out of, but still a lot of time left to do it. We'll see if those adjustments help.
Thanks, Doris. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. George has got 8 points here in this quarter.
And getting back to Dunleavy's consistency here in his later years, he's one of those guys who has really ramped up the nutrition. He's hitting the weight room. I could make the case that he was a tougher, better player last year, especially on defense, than at any other time in his career.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
And it's something we haven't seen much of at the opposite end of the floor.
Here is Miles. Brooks covering, and Miles kicks to George. George missing again.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Well, he's a guy that you know can hurt you with his passing, and right there, he does some damage with his finishing, too.
Over in the corner, Allen. Shot on the wing. Here's Hill, and Gasol sends it back. Outside Rose. There's the dish to Brooks. Misses the three. Pacers trail by 12. Ellis with it. He's picked up by Brooks, and the shot is good. 14 points here for George.
No, he didn't. Did he just break out the finger roll? That's nice.
Bulls have gone 6 of 11 from the floor. Over 50% shooting here in the second quarter. And there's the bucket from Besto.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
Gasol against Allen. And it's Brooks in the corner. Brooks can't get that one to fall.
Guys, the Bulls defense was as stout as ever last season. A big part of that is they have guys that challenge you inside and at the rim. Even off the bench, all of their bigs are mobile and protect the basket.
Rose gets to Bairstow and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two.
And injuries once again were a central theme of the Bulls season last year. Losing Rose was one thing, but then having Jimmy Butler lose a lot of time put them in such a tough spot.
And for the Bulls and injuries, a lot of teams plan for these type of things. There's only so much Clark can do to mitigate losing your starting backcourt.
But I tell you, great respect and admiration for the Bulls for how they fought through the difficulty. I mean, their front court did what they could. The injuries, once again, I thought turned the Bulls from championship contenders to just a playoff team.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Gasol. Iritich comes in for Mike Dunleavy. Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Brooks. And it's Heinrich in for Derrick Rose. And George, here we go. And fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot two. It's on Jimmy Butler.
You know, if you're looking to build a small forward and there wasn't a LeBron James template, you might go with PG, Paul George. Height, length, athleticism, that combination off the charts with him. And he's got a nice, unflappable demeanor, too.
Yeah, talking about Paul George, a big part of his dominance, his attitude. He doesn't yell or pump his fist. He's really the quiet assassin.
Yeah, once he maxes out in the weight room, which he will, now that he's in his mid-20s, I think he's going to be an Adonis. I mean, exactly the kind of physique you're looking for in a prototype at the small forward.
Down low, here's Gibson. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Heinrich against Hill. 6 to shoot. From 11 feet away. And yes, sir, that one drops. Hill's got 7 points in the game. The Bulls leading by 10.
Clearly a 2-for-1 situation here, guys.
Oh, without question, Greg. I mean, the wise move would be to get themselves a quick shot so they have an opportunity to get that 2-for-1.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Feeds it to Mahinmi. From deep, George. Rebound by Butler. For 3, Heinrich. Can't get it to go. George. No good. And we finished one half of basketball. It's Chicago. They're up by 10. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Pow, tell us what have been the key aspects to how this team is playing so far through the first 2 quarters.
Well, just had to be aggressive from the beginning, take the shots that were there, and move the ball. We're being unselfish. We were defending better in the first quarter, and we were able to knock down the shots.
Pow, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Chicago holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They lead by 10. And we'll start with the big fella, Shaq. What'd you see from them out there?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball. Ernie.
Kenny, what did you think about Indiana?
Their inaccuracy from behind the arc was brutal. Shot selection, I didn't see any. The perimeter offense they're running, you could scrap that. They need to get back to the basics. Pound it inside, more pick and roll. Try to pick up some easy buckets in transition.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
and the third quarter about ready to get underway.
Well, how about Paul George in this? He has 18 points, and when it comes to rebound, he's had a nice night there, too.
He's not afraid to mix it up there in the middle, getting in there and doing a lot of the dirty work.
Pacers trail by 10. Checking out the group for Frank Vogel to start the second half. Hill is out there with Ellis. Then it's Paul George. Then there's Allen. And it's Hill in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Butler kicks to Bairstow. Can't get it to go. George with the defensive effort. The Pacers shooting reasonably well, 45%. To the middle. Unloads from 9. And the shot is good. Dropping in off the front of the rim. Allen's got it back down to within single digits for Indiana. To the left wing. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Rose, no good. And with a little over a minute gone, the second half is underway. Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
To the inside. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. That one on Dunleavy.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and one reason why, I just don't know that I've ever seen him miss a play like that.
Rose passes to Gasol. Got a piece of it. One-on-one here. To tie. And it's Dunleavy with the rebound.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Bairstow. And Indiana with a change here, too. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for George. Count that one. The Bulls' lead has been cut down now to just 2 on the basket from Hill.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing. And with Bibbs, he did end up getting fired from the Bulls this past season. Some saw it coming, but still, I think surprising given the level of success he had. His imprint is all over this Bulls team in the way they approach the game.
Ellis can't get it to go.
And another miss. He's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. Now here's Butler. He's covered closely. Rose dishes to Gasol. 6 on the shot clock. Butler kicks to Dunleavy. It's rebounded by Indiana.
And when you look at how Thibs got fired, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a coach can be let go. I mean, he didn't have any performance issues, but apparently clashed in some form or fashion with the front office. Sometimes that's all it takes to be asked to go somewhere else.
Rose attacking. There's the feed to Gibson. Butler on the wing. Outside Gasol. Pass to Dunleavy. And the wide open shot from Rose. And the Bulls, another three.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Hill passes to Miles. Pick up by Hill. And Miles kicks to Hill. And it's Ellis penetrating.
And guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
But it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
That Kia Slam Cam replay really gave you a good look at the action. Brooks checked in for Chicago. And a change for the Pacers. Mahimi's checked in. Left side, Butler. Near the three-point line, it's Ellis. No good. That would have tied it. Monte Ellis has always had a knack for the big shot. When things are on the line, he is a guy that is not afraid to step up.
And Kevin, last season, he had a number of big second halves and fourth quarters for the Mavs. Really took over that primary scoring role from Dirk Nowitzki. Stole a lot of games for them last season.
Hill, a screen on Brooks. Can't capitalize on the good pick.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
Rose, that's good.
Defensively, they just look out of sync, not closing out on the threes in time.
Well, I think they're getting caught in that in-between zone, no man's land, giving up 3 straight from beyond the arc right now.
Here's Mahimi, and it's Chicago with the rebound. Gasol's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Butler. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Really impressed with the way Jimmy Butler last season made big strides in his game, going from a supporting role player to someone you can build your team around.
And Jimmy Butler had the career highs across the board last season. Won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. Really picking up his production in his 4th season.
You know, we had seen the flashes of potential in Butler before. Last season, he sustained great play and really took everything to the next level.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Mirotic is checked in for Gasol. And it's Heinrich in for Rose. Indiana also making some changes. Turner comes in for Hill. And it's Hill in for Ellis. Hill drives in. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. The Bulls leading by 10. Inside. And slam dunked by Butler.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-hander.
And the Pacers can't get it to go.
Boy, they just cannot take the lid off.
Well, they need a basket in the worst possible way. And you got to stop this run, and the only way you do that, you got to score yourself.
The Pacers making a change here. George is checked in. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
They've really been on fire from beyond the arc tonight, too. I mean, a lot of their points have come from out there.
Nikola Mirotic, drafted as a late first-rounder, Clark, back in 2011. The Spanish star finally made his rookie debut in the NBA last season, and it was worth the wait.
It sure was, Kevin. I mean, once he started to get consistent PT, I mean, he was remarkable. Can run like the wind for a big guy, not that strong, but more aggressive than you'd think.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He made it clear that their offense needed to run through Paul George. Coach would like to see him utilized in the offense as much as possible. We can expect to see them going to him constantly. Well, they need to make something happen before the start of the fourth quarter, and maybe those changes will do the trick, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris.
And back to Mirotic last season. Per 36 minutes, he averaged 18 points, 9 rebounds. He was also a tremendous foul shooter for a rookie big, and made the all-rookie first team, was second in Rookie of the Year voting. I mean, what more could you ask for?
And, you know, for Mirotic, his value extends to the defensive end as well. He did a surprisingly good job of racking up blocks and steals last season. You have to believe that if he improves his power and consistency, an all-star nod isn't so far off.
And the Bulls making a change here. Bairstow's checked in. There's 1:17 left here in the third quarter. And Brooks, here we go. Here's Gibson. That drops and it comes off an assist from Brooks. Brooks has got his 5th assist in this one. Pacers trail by 13. Hill dishes to Turner. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so we will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. Indiana shooting the 6th attempt at the free throw line tonight. And Hill no good on that one.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
Indiana's gotten going here in the second half from outside, nailing 3 of 4 from the arc. And Stuckey led the charge for the Pacers bench, Greg, as you were talking about, but all around the reserves, Clark, were fantastic on the Pacers.
Yes, 3rd in the league at almost 41 points per game off the bench, 1st in the NBA in bench rebounding, and top 10 in field goal percentage as a bench.
And both free throws good for Paul George.
Getting to the stripe is something they've been doing a lot of in the second half, guys.
And when you're behind, it's a good strategy. Not only do you get points, but you also get to set your defense.
Pacers trail by 9. Hill with it. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Hill drives in. Shot is off. Now Chicago takes it the other way. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Heinrich passes to Gibson. Mirotic has a wide open look. Hits the front of the rim and out.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
Mirotic against George. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. For Indiana, they have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
Not really where you'd like to be as a team in terms of free throw shooting, just about 73%.
You know, the numbers from the line, guys, are close to where they were last year, but just a tad worse, so not too bad.
11 seconds left in the third, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it.
Well, he just didn't make the catch, didn't look the ball into his hands. He must have thought the ball was going somewhere else.
There's 10 seconds left in the third quarter. And Mirotic kicks to Brooks. Heinrich inside the three-point line. And it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And not so fast. The officials are going to check that shot again and make sure they got it right before we go to the fourth.
And even though, you know, you're thinking maybe we don't need the replay in a situation like this, still plenty of time left in this game. And really, it's about getting the call right.
Yeah, and the NBA Replay Center in Secaucus is queuing up the footage for the officials on the floor. The new process is making for quicker turnarounds, I think.
And they've taken a look at it, and they've overturned the call. They're calling the basket good, Greg.
Yeah, and that's why we have replay. I mean, to make sure the officials don't miss any calls. And really, a good job to take the second look at it. Would have been a shame if they'd been cheated out of those points.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. The Bulls leading by 11. At small and power forward, it's Dunleavy and Gasol. Heinrich and Rose, the guards. And it's Bairstow in at the 5, down low. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. To the paint, here's George. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Ellis has got his 7th assist here tonight.
And after his last game, really not surprised to see him as hot as he is here tonight.
It's stolen by Hill. And George kicks to Miles. 20 feet out. And it's George again missing.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the boards.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards, and that's what's given them control of this game.
The shot's good from Gasol.
A splendid pass that time by Rose.
Pacers trail by 13. The drive by Ellis. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And, Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
Butler, he's checked in for Kirk Heinrich.
One shot.
The free throw drops for Rose.
Derrick Rose possesses a great skill set, ball handling, passing, an understanding of how to score. First rookie to ever win the All-Star Weekend Skills Challenge.
Ellis dishes to George. He feeds it to Allen. Got a piece of it. They recover it. And the basket by Hill. Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Outside Rose. Outside Gasol. To the inside. Bairstow. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. And the Bulls lead by 14.
And you're going to take as many of those high percentage shots as you can get.
The drive by Ellis. And it's good.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more.